Pastor Andre Guy is here to answer your questions from a biblical perspective. He's an humble man who's on a mission to bring the church together with a Bible and a dictionary. He will tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help him God. And now, here's Pastor Andre Guy.
Good evening, members and the rest of the world. Welcome to another edition of The Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I'm Andre Guy Reed.
Hey, tomorrow break here.
For the next hour, let's forget about the black man. And let's forget about the white man. Still with the human, from a Bible perspective, if you will. Feel free to call in at 901-452-3094 or 901-324-7490 for any comments, suggestions, agreements, or even disagreements we may have. We can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Okay, it's Friday. This is the Truth Radio Show, brought to you by the Truth Radio Network. We deal with everything from sex, race, religion, politics, and even sometimes sports from a Bible perspective. That's right. At the end of the day, we give God the final authority. It's Friday, open line conversation. You can talk about whatever's on your mind. We happen to have a guest back in the studio today, Brother Jonathan Richmond. He's graced us with his presence one more time. Good evening, Brother Jonathan.
I'm back.
He's back. Before I forget it, y'all, look, tomorrow in Douglas Park, if you grew up in the North Memphis, Douglas, Hyde Park, Smoky City, Klondike, if you grew up in that area, you went to school between the ages of junior high and high school between the 70s and 80s, this is either the 6th or 7th annual reunion at Douglas Park. They're going to start about 7, 8 in the morning, and they go until, I've been to 2 of the last 3, man. It is a good time. There's no ruckus, no shooting, or no falling out because I got mad at you for what you did to me in the sand pile in the 7th grade, and I still been waiting to get you for taking my lunch money. And it's just a good time, unforgettable. I know you're going to see some people that you grew up with that you haven't seen in a while. I saw so many people that I saw that and grew up in a while. So remember, Douglas Park tomorrow is the North Memphis reunion get-together to show that some of us are actually doing some good things in life.
Amen.
All right, we got Brother Jonathan Richmond on the show. Before I do that, one thing I pride myself on is that I'm not trying to be right. I try to tell the truth. I remember asking Brother Richmond, do you have a job? And he told me that he played keyboard for Eric Benet. Of course, I've heard of Eric Benet, Grammy-winning artist and stuff, and my response was, yeah, I can fly. The mouth can say anything.
That's right.
I got a real smile.
Yeah, you said it.
I did. And he showed me some pictures of him and Eric Benet and stuff, and, that wasn't good enough for me. I do my own investigation. And got home, and I did me some investigating, and I happened to find a clip of Eric Benet where he just finished his concert in a big arena, and he introduced his band. And I'm just going to play it for you, and we'll see if Jonathan Richmond is the keyboard player for Eric Benet. Let me play that first. Don't start buffering now.
Another movie. This is my brother Steve Becker.
You never know who you're around. Quit buffering thing. Joe can play, I know that.
Yeah, he played with me when I was with Angie Stone.
We just gonna buff on through, y'all. And if you want to go look it up, all you got to do is Google James Ross at Eric Benet band introduction.
Oh, that was in St. Louis.
Okay, I wondered what it was. I thought y'all were in another country.
No, that's in St. Louis. We got some Korea stuff in there too, man.
Let me see, maybe I can fast forward because I don't want to spend all the time buffering. Let's try this. This might work. Sometime when you refresh and go back in. keyboard player, you the musical director.
Mm-hmm.
I give you kudos, sir.
Thank you.
I give you kudos. You know anything about farming?
Very little.
I can teach you something.
I know my mom, she moved to like Ash Flat, Arkansas.
Okay. She probably know what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
In farming, you know the goats, before they slaughter the goat, you always pet them up. I just pet you up then. Come here, little goat.
You better be disappointed.
Oh, okay. Well, we've been doing some research, Mr.
All right.
Rich.
Yeah.
You know, the Truth Radio Show, we have some avid listeners and some great investigators as well.
Mm-hmm.
Got one in Atlanta, he's a blind man.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy in Atlanta, we heard the statistics, we looked at the report that you gave us, and then we could see that these were CDC numbers, but I found out something, John. First thing I found out was, let me pull that report up where you got here. First thing I found out was that report that you had us reading from, that wasn't an actual report from the CDC. No. What that was is, hold on, let me find it. Where you at? Well, this guy, Frank Von Walton, that's his name. Frank Von Walton, he is a writer, and he works for a place called the Daily Coast. You know about them?
The Daily Coast.
The Daily Coast. They're not representative of the CDC, but they're representative of Frank Von Walton. The numbers that you showed us, that little chart. I pulled up some information about the Daily Coast. Guess what I found out about the Daily Coast? They have a reputation for issuing statistics that they know that they have fraudulently manipulated the data. Tell you what I mean. We got a guy on the show named Shaft. Shaft is the investigator.
Okay. Come on, Shaft.
Shaft messed around and called the Center for Disease Control and asked about this report that Mr. Frank Von Walton issued. Well, that's what I have right here. I'm sure to you. This is the little snapshot that we had when Mr. Frank Von Walton printed. And that wasn't from the CDC. That was from Daily Coast. Well, here's the actual CDC report. It's 12 pages long.
Of course.
In the 12 pages long of the CDC, guess what the representative from the CDC told us? First of all, that Mr. Frank Von Walton and the Daily Coast, they have an agenda and they have a reputation for purposely submitting and printing information that had been skewed to what they want to say. I even got an interview up in the play, Mr. Frank Von Walton. He tells you that when he does his writings, remember you told us that you were pro-black, liberal Democrat, agnostic. Mr. Von Walton, he subscribes to that same thing. But in his 12 pages of the CDC, guess what the lady from CDC told us? He went in and pulled out the numbers of what fit his narrative. In other words, Shaft, when you get a chance, call in. They interviewed me in from say from 19 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 36. They had categories of men that were limited in education, moderate in education, high education. They also interviewed men that lived in urban areas, suburban areas. And we found when we looked at the data, like say if I interview a young man, 26 years old, with a college degree that lives in Germantown, his numbers are going to be drastically different than a young man who's 26 years old with a high school diploma living in North Memphis.
Why is that?
Well, that I can't answer. But
You didn't ask about that? You didn't dig that deep?
Well, actually, if you read into the 12 pages of the report, it actually shows a correlation to, and you were right, that poverty has a big effect on how people interact with their children, be they white or black.
Yes.
But this is where I'm going with this. What's misleading about what you gave us was what misleading about what you submitted was You didn't let us know that was a partial part of that report. Let me play Mr. Van Walton. Let's get a picture of him, then we're gonna let you roll. I promise you we're gonna give you the
Welcome back to Politics Done Right with Egberto Willis. It's always a pleasure for me to bring some of the Daily Coast contributing editors.
I thought this guy was German when I saw the middle name. He's actually
the progressive dialogue, the progressive narrative. I've met Frank Vine, I guess 5 years ago or so in one of the Netroots Nations, I believe.
It was in Detroit in 2014 that we first got together.
Absolutely so, and very impressed with Frank. Now, Frank, tell us a little bit about what you write about first off, so that our audience can know what they'll see.
Wow, that's a difficult question because I'd like to cover more than one particular subject in general. I mean, I'm not necessarily a one-note writer. There's a great many challenges that the world and especially America these days are facing. So I try to address them as they come up. These days I'm mostly writing about Trump or things related to Trump.
Hard not to.
He has an agenda.
It's impossible not to if you're invested in
I do have an agenda.
Absolutely.
the ideas of equality and justice and safety for all Americans in so many different ways. It tends to be the monster that eats up everything. So every once in a while I put that aside and I'll write about something else. And there's a lot of different subjects I've delved into over the years, about 12 years or so, that I've been writing on Coast. The issue of Medicare for All is a hot topic these days. I was a heavy writer.
What's your thoughts on Medicare for All?
I'm a supporter. I was just talking to Sanjeev, who's running the upcoming caucus on Medicare for All, and a panel on that tomorrow about that. And when the Affordable Care came out, that we had quite a bit of debate internally amongst progressives about how that was going to be implemented. There was a strong support for the public option by the more progressive wings.
It's a long interview. I just wanted to get that point out. So we will agree with that. He has a strong progressive liberal agenda when he writes his writing for the Daily Coast, right?
Yeah.
You said that you think that I have an agenda for Trump. Why you say that?
No, I didn't say you had an agenda for Trump. Okay. You said he has an agenda. I said everybody has an agenda.
And I said, well, I try not to.
And I was like, no, you absolutely have an agenda.
Tell me what you think.
You present it every time when you come on.
Come on, talk to me.
You want to present things from what you consider to be a God perspective.
Okay.
And most of your stuff usually is right-leaning.
Yeah, because if I look at it from my Christian perspective, the right-wing ideology more subscribes to my faith than the left-wing ideology. So yeah, I
mean, if that's what you like to believe.
I do. I mean, in order for it to be faith, it has to be something that I believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's right. I am operating off my faith, and you're right. I say it on the show from a Bible perspective. Yeah. Here's my question for you, though. When we talk to the people from CDC, and they say when you look at the whole picture, the 12 pages, and not what Frank put in that little CDC plant that he put out there. He said,
I didn't see Frank's name on the CDC report.
His name was on the little thing you sent us from the Daily Cost.
No, if you pull up the actual report,
no, Frank name it on there, but the information.
Dr. Joe Jones and William D. Marshall.
Right, but the
from the Division of Vital Statistics. That's who did the study.
Right, but the information that you sent me when we first started this, when I gave out the numbers like yesterday, 73 point this and that, I got those numbers from the email that you sent me.
That's just the article talking about it.
I got it from the article, right?
Yeah,
okay.
That's
right.
the article. You're supposed to go to the source to look at the numbers.
And that's my fault. I received it. That's my fault. When I asked the CDC about the overall conclusion of the entire report, not just that article, the conclusion was clear that black men are absent in the lives of their children. That's not what Frank gave us in that article.
So what did they say? I read the report.
Okay, this actually.
So the statistics. Let me ask you this. So the statistics in the report are different from what Frank wrote?
Yeah, the conclusion.
No, the statistic, the numbers.
The numbers are different in the ones that he left out. What Frank did was.
What did he leave out?
He left out all the ones about the numbers of the ones of the young men that were, say, 26 years old, that were uneducated, living in urban areas, the percentage of time they were involved in their children. He left out the numbers of the ones of the people that are the unemployment, of people that are how they interact with it. And there's a whole lot of stuff they left out. Basically, he took a 12-page report, and I said, in my fault, that all I did was took that article and
Yeah.
I charged that to me. I charged that to me.
Look, you have the Washington Times did an article on it. You had the New York Post. All of these conservatives, they did the same article.
And when they they do the same article. Now they got the report.
National Review.
This is what I'm pulling up here. Here it is, the Daily Coast. Here it is. Okay. Because if I would have been noticing, I would have noticed at the top that all of that little tabs. You got Donald Trump, you got Robert Mueller, you got Trump, you got impeachment, you got Republicans.
I mean, but what does that mean?
What it means is that you gave us that synopsis, that viewpoint, that black fathers are in the lives of their children based on skewed data.
It isn't skewed.
Well, the CDC says that the conclusion of the report is that black fathers are not in their children's lives.
So the report I'm reading and what somebody told you is totally different.
The actual
This
CDC,
is the report. I have the report right here.
Okay, I got it. What does your report say? I got
This is
it
the
right here
report.
too, the 12-page report.
Yeah, this is the whole report. Look at it, 12 pages.
Mm-hmm. But now, on the one that you sent, that I have,
That was just an article.
that's the article.
That's just an article.
And that's the article. Remember when me and you first started talking about this? We talked not based on that report.
No, that's what I was talking about.
We based on this article.
You based it on the
I
article.
did.
I based it on the report.
Okay.
I just showed
So
you
now,
the article that was talking
on that
about.
report from the CDC. You're telling me that the CDC concluded on that report that black men are involved in their children's lives?
Yeah, they're not as absent as we've been led to believe.
That's not what the representatives of the CDC do.
Well, you probably need to call them and ask them again. Here you go.
They sent me the
Call
actual
the-
PDF form.
Call
I mean
the-
PDF form.
This is the report right here.
I got it right here too. How
So
many pages you got?
This is 12.
That's it, because I see the little graph.
Yeah.
That's it.
So we're on here. Here's the conclusion. Here's the conclusion. The goalless report.
Let's go to the conclusion. Let me pull it up too. Let's do that.
Yeah, read the conclusion.
Okay, let's go for it. Go ahead. I'm getting to it. You can start reading. I'll get there. I'm going to get
My
there.
eyes.
Ain't no wrong with your eyes. Stop it. I see them glasses work.
Yeah, you see they thick too, don't you?
Yeah, you already.
You see they super thick, don't you?
Okay, here we go. The conclusion. The goal of this report is to document the extent of father involvement in their children's lives using a sample of 3,928 fathers aged 15 to 44 in the 2006-2010 NSFG. While other surveys have collected data on father involvement in recent decades, the NSFG sample is large, recent, and nationally representative. It also has multiple indicators of father involvement, both for both fathers who live with their children and fathers who live apart from their children. The report is limited to 4 measures of father involvement for children under age 5 and to 4 measures of involvement for children 5 to 18. Identical measures were compared for fathers aged 15 to 44 who live with and who live apart from their children. Parental involvement is complex and multidimensional. The measures selected for the survey and examined here were chosen because previous research has found them to be related to positive outcomes for children. Multiple indicators are shown because no indicator is the key father.
It's the key father involvement.
Okay, yeah, I saw it drop. Yeah, the activity that benefits all children more than others. Some of the findings shown here are worth reiterating as there was variation in father involvement by activity. For example, for children under age 5, the study found that 96% of resident fathers who ate meals with their children every day or several times a week, 98% played with children often, 90% bathed, diapered, or dressed their children every day or several times a week, and 60% read to their children that often. For the fathers who did not live with their children, 30% ate meals with them every day or several times a week, 39% played with their children several times a week, 31% bathed, diapered, or dressed their children several times a week or more, and 23% read to their children several times a week. I want to get to the final conclusion. Hold on.
I don't see in here nowhere where it says the conclusion is black fathers are not in their children's
And you
lives.
don't see nowhere in that the conclusion.
The numbers say
that
it.
black.
Hey, look, I'm going by the data.
The numbers say what?
The numbers said it. The numbers say it.
Show me that where it said that the numbers said that black fathers.
No, they showed you. You read them yesterday. Well, did they say those were wrong?
We got a call.
They said those were wrong.
Yeah, no, they said the conclusion of this study showed that black fathers are not involved in their children's
Where does it
lives.
say that in?
That's what I'm reading it now. But see, we
You
went
don't
to the
show
Mount
me. You haven't
John.
shown me.
You ain't showing me where's the book. Like
I mean, you read it.
Well, let's get this call. No, I didn't read it. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
What's going on, man?
Are you listening to Mr. Richmond?
Well, I'm going to say I didn't listen to y'all for about 3 minutes.
Okay, because Mr. Richmond, he's skilled. He's skilled. I give him that. He's
What
skilled.
you mean skills?
He's skilled. You know, the mastery of con man 101.
No,
I can answer change the question.
No, you're not going to call me a con man.
Well, what I'm submitting
That's your
is,
president. That's not me.
I just don't know if you're doing it intentionally or you just doing it because out of emotion.
No.
But I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna stand back and I'm gonna let Shab, our resident detective for the Truth Radio Show. I'm gonna let you and him dialogue about this data. Shab, are you ready? Yeah. Who is the man who risked his neck for a brother man?
Come on, Shab.
Well, look, Jonathan, that's right.
How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man?
All is well, man. I believe you fool around here and make it, man.
Yeah, I thumbed through this. Man, that's a 21-page document that I looked through. And I looked over the report first. I looked through the report in its entirety.
Yeah.
And then I looked at what Andre sent me, which was a narrative by some guy.
Frank Van Walton.
Right.
That's probably an opinion piece.
Right, that's exactly what it was.
My fault.
That's exactly what it was.
You got me there.
I was telling you.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I was when Reverend and I first debated about it, when I first came, I was referring to the report.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He honed into the article, and I was referring to the report.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you this, Andre. I did hear Jonathan just say that the report is showing that black men are more involved in their families than what we led to believe by the media. And I can agree with him.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I can agree with
Well,
him.
maybe I misunderstand what you're saying because what I'm taking from what you're saying is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you were saying that with the media misleading us about black men's involvement in their family, black men are actually more involved with their families than other ethnicities. Am I
No,
right?
that's not true.
Hmm?
Am I reading you wrong?
And some of the data shows it. You read some of the data yesterday, right?
Yeah, and what you're right. In some of the data,
Yeah, but look, it's not a zero-sum game.
right? In some of the data, like I'm gonna tell you where black men scored the highest was the black men that was between the ages of like 34 to 44 that were college graduates that lived in a higher income bracket.
Oh.
Now, yeah,
See?
we knocked it out the box with that, but
So
when
we're
you have,
connecting now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
We're connected.
Yeah, we getting that. We getting that. We getting
So,
that.
Shab, let me say this right quick before you continue. I want
Go ahead.
to put a disclaimer out there. So last time I was here, I was telling him that you shouldn't look at it so narrowly. Now, we do have problems in our community, but that is not the problem. And they want to make that the problem. I said, you have impoverished situation, poverty, because you know what? It's not true. The study you was citing about they're more likely to be in jail, more likely to commit crime. That's not true for wealthy single-parent homes. It's not true for upper middle class single-parent homes. It's rare for regular middle class.
Yeah, because the majority of black people are not criminals.
Exactly. That's the narrative I'm trying to get out. That's my agenda.
And maybe,
I don't want us to believe what the media shows about us.
so maybe I got a misunderstanding of what your objective was. Because see, keep in mind, I know that you're pro-black.
Yeah, let me correct that too.
Okay.
Pro-black, because you said that, and you said it.
In order for you to be pro-black, you got to be anti-white.
You don't.
How can you be pro? If I'm pro-life,
Listen,
am I anti-abortion?
it depends.
You in order to be pro,
People
means for.
listen. People who say they pro-life find something that they don't mind killing.
And they're not pro-life.
Okay, so we throw these words around loosely.
But if I am truly pro-life,
Yeah, then all life.
then that means
That means the little Muslim boy getting drawn by our stuff.
That
We
means-
make an argument.
Right, that means if I'm
Tamir
pro-life,
Rice.
right? Tamir Rice.
Yeah, Philando Castile.
Well, now what you're doing is
No, Tamir Rice was playing in the park.
Tamir Rice was in the park pointing guns at people.
No, he was playing with a toy gun.
It was a toy gun, and somebody had took the tip out of that gun
No,
to
yeah.
let people know that this was a play gun.
That's
And he had said
Deontay.
people-
That's what they said Deontay Farrow did. Not
No, that was Tamir Rice.
no Tamir Rice, and the dude came in within a half a second.
And he shot the boy because
Shot the boy.
somebody
He
had
didn't tell
called the police
He didn't
and
tell.
said that there
And
was a
they
young
told
boy
him.
in
They
the
said
park.
it may be a toy gun. They said it in the 911.
The boy had the boy or his mother, somebody took that orange tip out of that gun and made that gun replica to look like a real gun.
Okay.
I mean, so that'll get you killed.
No, it shouldn't.
Why do you think they put the tip in there?
Hold up. It shouldn't. If they can arrest an armed white man without incident, they can arrest a 12-year-old black boy without incident. That police officer, he had bad tactical awareness, everything. They didn't give him no orders to comply with. He jumped out the car. It was literally a half of a second, and he gunned him down.
And he shot that boy.
No, he gunned him down. He murdered him.
No, there wasn't murder.
There was murder.
There was murder.
Shooting a young 12-year-old boy. Okay. You haven't even told him put the gun down.
You have not addressed the fact. Why would somebody? The reason
we used to play with toy guns all the time.
Guess what? When we play with guns all the time.
Chef, you still up?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. We got on the table.
I'm listening to y'all. I'm just what y'all talking some good stuff, man.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the purpose of them putting the tip in there is so somebody won't mistake it for being a real gun.
But even if they do, you're supposed to give them commands. Hey, put the gun down, son. Put the gun. You don't jump out the car and just go to firing. What type of tactical awareness is that? What type of training is that as a police officer?
As a police officer,
yeah. And I have police officers in my family that I worry about all the time.
As a police officer, I could readily say you could have gave that a few more seconds.
Yes.
But what you refuse to acknowledge or you choose to ignore is the fact that somebody purposely pulled that tip out of that gun so that somebody would think that was a real weapon.
But that's irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant.
No, that's very relevant.
No. Let me tell you why. Because first, in the 911 call, the person who called the police said it looks like it may be a toy gun.
It may be.
Yeah. So you got that in it. Then the police who's supposed to be trained should have came in to speak from their car without even getting out their car, right?
I don't know. You said you're going to spend your family as a police officer.
Yeah.
Who do you think go sit and pull up on somebody with a gun and sit up
a child? You can see a child
on his radio. Hey, look here.
Yeah.
Let me see if that's a play gun or not.
No, yeah. I've seen them with people who have real guns.
He would not
tell
have
them, look,
that
put the gun down.
We wouldn't be in that situation. But anyway, go ahead, Sheriff.
Yeah, if you're sitting in your squad car, you can't position yourself to defend yourself or fire back if you're sitting in your car.
But that's not proper training. That's not proper training that you get out with guns blazing and then ask questions later. That's not proper training.
Right, but
no, it's not.
What you said about them just sitting in their car.
No, I'm saying that was an option. That was an option. He could have did anything, but he didn't give no commands. He gave no commands.
No, I don't know about there being police pro car to just sit in your car and talk.
No, you're making an issue of it. I'm saying that was just an option. There was multiple options he could have did.
What I'm saying is I don't know if there's an option.
Okay, well, here's another option. Here's another option. Wait. Okay?
Wait.
Or you can get out with your guns drawn and tell them, like you tell any other suspect, drop the gun. You don't ever.
No. Wait.
Hold up, Sam. Are you trying to tell me?
A chance to kill me.
Yeah. Hold up. Are you saying?
Let me see what you gonna do.
No, that's their job. They supposed to assess the situation first. They're supposed to just pull up and start shooting. I know you're not advocating for that, are you, Sam?
No, I can agree with that. You don't just pull up and start shooting.
That's what they did. That's what they did.
You're not gonna sit up and talk. Wait a minute.
That's what they did.
They can't overtalk you.
I'm just saying.
They can't overtalk you, and you repeating the same thing over and over.
All right, I just want you to catch that point. That's what they did.
Because you don't repeated that over and over, saying that's what they did. That's what they did.
Y'all seem like y'all trying to find justification for it.
Well, no, we taking all the facts. What you ignoring is they pulled that tip out of that gun.
That tip is immaterial. If they have arrested people with guns drawn on them, real guns, didn't have no tip or nothing, and they arrested them without incident.
They shoot the white folks that got guns too, man.
No,
more white people are killed by the police than blacks.
Yeah, that's why they should join our cause.
Did you read that report?
Of course, I tell white people that. Like they killing y'all more than they killing us.
Okay, go.
We need to reform this police culture.
Oh, I believe the police department need to be reformed, but not to the point to where you got criminals where you sit around there.
That boy was no criminal.
The boy got a gun and he's sitting around there pointing at people.
He playing by himself.
But then why did he take the tip out the gun?
I don't know if he took the tip out the gun.
That's been established. Even his mother admitted that.
He took the tip out?
Him or his mom. Somebody did.
Who established it?
The mom told me that.
She said she took the tip out or he took it out?
She didn't tell us who took it out.
So you don't know who took the tip out?
One of them took it out.
Who Okay.
The
See,
tip
so
was-
she didn't say
the-
she
the
took
tip was taken out of the gun.
Okay.
When the boy left the house,
Okay.
they bought the gun.
Okay.
The gun had a red or orange tip in it
Okay.
to let people know this is a fake gun.
Okay.
Either her or him, one of them, somebody in that household, took that tip out the gun so it would look real.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he got killed.
That wasn't why he got killed.
Yeah, it was.
No, he got killed because there was a corrupt police officer who never should have been on the force. Now that they've done the research, he never should have been on the
Now,
force.
he should not have been on the force.
And they said
he was a rogue police
and
officer.
everything that he did wrong.
And he did shoot too quick.
Yes.
Now, this is true.
That's
what
why
you
he
said.
died.
But,
That's why he
but
died.
now, when you get through talking with that, if that boy had not have taken it, you think that man got
I ain't-
that day?
look, I'm not
and said,
into
"I'm
blaming
gonna
the
find me
victim."
some young black man to kill.
Hey, you'll be surprised what goes on in the minds of the police officer.
Go ahead, Shell.
But I'm enjoying y'all conversation,
He's some
man.
work. Jonathan's some work. He's some work.
You ain't finna get no easy layup, man. You got to work.
Believe me, I don't cherry pick.
All right.
But you got anything else to throw in there as about
Well, I
that?
do want to ask Jonathan, what did he think about the Frazier incident with Brandon Weber? Did he think Brandon Weber was killed? It was a road marshal that shot him?
No, because I know about it. I know about it. Like when they say he rammed the car, he didn't ram the car. They blocked him in when he was trying to back out, and he happened to hit him. And if you look at the car, you'll see what the damage. Just minor damage, wasn't that? But no. Listen, I'm
Did
saying
he happen to jump out with a gun?
they now according to my sources, they said he did. Police officers say he did.
No, not the police. It was the marshal.
Yeah, the marshals. The
It
marshals.
wasn't the
said-
police. It wasn't the sheriff. It was the marshal.
Yeah, that was okay, got that. But they, the law enforcement, we do it like that. Law enforcement said he got out with a gun. The witnesses, now I haven't heard one witness that said he had a gun. They were saying it was his cell phone. Now I asked my source at MPD, and they was like it's unclear. And so you take that for what it means. But there are justified shootings. You know what I'm saying? If the guy robbed and killed and he came out trying to go out in the blaze and he got what he deserved. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about people like Philando Castile, Tamir Rice, John Crawford, who had the rifle that he had picked up in Walmart. And he just, and the dude came in. You can see it on video. He came in barrel rolling and everything and just shot him down.
And
That's unacceptable.
Let me make something clear with you, Jonathan. Let me make something clear with you. Because I come from that side of life. So
Me too.
I'm not immune to that there is police brutality or police reform needed in the country. I'm firmly agree with that. Here's my thing about that. If as a black man, I know that police reform is needed. I know that there are cases where sometimes I get a cop with an itchy finger. It is incumbent upon me to be polite, know my rights. In other words, not put myself in a position where you can't, okay, Q, yeah, good. So I did that shit because I got to get this next call up and hold. To put myself in a position where I don't become one of these statistics. But this stuff, where you put it into their head, where if I knuckle up with the police, or if the police tell me, like Eric Garner, the man told him, you're under arrest. I'm not going to jail that day. At that moment, you escalate that situation where you make something go down.
I hear you.
Right, and if I know that this is going on, there's nowhere in the world my 13-year-old child, I'm going to let him leave that house. First of all, I wouldn't have bought my 13-year-old child a gun that has a tip in it that I need to have it in there so nobody will mistake whether you got a real live weapon or not. Whether you deal with the right or wrong of it, whatever way you want to, I'm dealing with the reality of life. Nobody is going to take a chance, or when they think you got a gun, or whether I'm going to wait for you to put it down, or wait if I can talk you down, they're going to shoot you.
Let me ask you this.
Okay?
So, we know what police can do when they in fear for their life,
Yeah.
right?
Human beings, period. No, but police have authority.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we're in fear of our life from police officers, what's our recourse?
Be polite, know your rights.
No, I mean, you've had people who've been polite, knew their rights, and they complied, and they still got shot.
That's where police reform comes in.
But it's not happening.
But what do you mean it's not happening?
Hold up.
You just said you got more white people that are killed by police than blacks.
I'm saying police reform, the culture, it's not happening.
Well,
It was starting to happen when they forced police departments to honor consent decrees that made them shape up their departments. Some police departments like Baltimore and Chicago is one of them. They're still operating under the consent decree.
What is actually the consent decree?
The consent decree is something that the Obama administration.
Well, we got to call him.
I know.
City caller, do
City caller comes in.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. I apologize.
Hello?
Hello, yes, sir.
Is it Mueller time yet? I mean, Miller time?
Mueller, not Miller.
Yeah. Yeah, Mueller.
Was that
Hey, if everybody's so worried about that, 14 shootings, in 4 days, why ain't people out here protesting? I'm going to tell you something. Whoever it is, if they'd pulled a gun on him, red tip or not, 9 o'clock at night, these policemen, they're scared. They're scared. And you know what? They do know the job they're taking on. And, but they're nervous and all. But, I go back to saying, anytime I've been arrested, right or wrong, if I ever was arrested, right or wrong, you go along at the time. That's what they make lawyers for. That's what they make juries for. But when you sit there, anybody pulls a gun on anybody, whether it's got a red tip or not, you don't know if it's a BB gun or a real gun or nothing else, man. And that's just wrong. When they tell you to do something, you just do it, and then you deal with it later in a court of law while you're alive.
Yeah. And, for the most part, people have been conditioned to doing that, right? So
They should be, yes.
So if the police tell you, don't look me in my eye, you going to stop looking them in his eye?
Yeah.
How far will you go? How far will you condition yourself to accept the fact that police are going to be brutal?
I'm going to look
Not
at
always brutal.
I'm
just saying.
They weren't brutal when they got water thrown on them or got hit in the head with a bucket. I didn't see no brutality there. They took it, which I sure wouldn't, and I'm not a policeman. Let somebody pour water and hit them with a bucket.
Now, to answer your question, yes, I would not look him in his eye to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to file complaints and stuff because, like, keep in mind, like I told you, I agree. When police can take, I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, about 5 years ago, my car stopped in the middle of the street. And we got there, and I told the police officer, I got insurance, I can call him to tow it and stuff, and he just wanted to tow my car, for me to pay the money to the city. Mm-hmm. And I said, it doesn't make any sense to me. My wife said, why would you tow it and stuff? We're here to get the vehicle. And he started cussing at my wife. And when he started cussing at my wife, my wife said, you're not going to be talking. I said, no, baby, stand down. Because I'm knowing that the moment that he retaliates off her cussing, and then he going to get disrespectful with my wife, that as a man, I'm going to stand up and do what I got to do. And more than likely, my wife is not going to have a husband. My children are not going to have a father.
Amen. Amen.
So I stood down there, but the next day I contacted the police department, and at that time Tony Armstrong was director. Yeah. And and I made complaints and stuff, and they did them. They actually made him come and apologize and stuff. And what I'm saying is this: you're right in the fact that as a citizen, that doesn't mean because you're a police officer you can demean me and degrade me.
Amen.
But even in the Bible said it's better to be a wounded dog than a dead lion.
Absolutely. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying we always tell one another, hey, act right. Don't. It's almost like the battered wife syndrome. Don't do anything that provoke the husband to hit you.
Yeah, because
but at the same time,
right.
I'm saying we should fight to change the culture.
I agree with you.
That should be unacceptable.
Because I think
that's what Black Lives Matter has been doing, trying to fight the culture, change the culture.
Black Lives Matter. That's a whole other story.
I'm telling you.
I think that needs to change. The average black child. I think you'll agree with me on this. The average black child is raised to fear the police, where the average white child is raised that the police are their public service.
I remember when
that has to be changed.
I'm gonna tell you this. When I was in junior high school, they used to bring Officer Friendly in, right?
I remember Officer Friendly.
And this when I was going to Fraser High School. I was in 8th grade, and they brought Officer Friendly in, and all of the kids, all the black kids, they questioned the Officer Friendly. Man, why the police always beating up on us? It's Officer Friendly, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's the
Officer Friendly got arrested for sexual charges. He was real friendly.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Accurate.
Yeah.
John, I think
we have to correct something too. Well, go ahead, but I want to correct something.
I think in a way, you and I are saying a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
I think that we might. You brought up Black Lives Matter. Maybe you can help me with this. I'm assuming that you support Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, some of what they do.
What does homosexuality have to do with Black Lives Matter? Help me understand that.
Well, because being black and gay is also like a double negative, and you know what I'm saying?
Gay mean happy, homosexual.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. These y'all rules, okay.
No, I mean, that's what the word, when you were going to school and phrase, what they teach you the word gay meant?
I mean, gay, when I was going to school, meant homosexual. They had more than one meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even the homosexual community can't tell you when they changed the gay from being happy.
I know. It was a guy that stayed in our neighborhood.
They didn't call him gay, they called him a sissy.
No, well, they called him that too. They called him
punk.
Yeah.
They wouldn't call him gay.
No, they would call him gay. They was like, you stay away from that house because that guy there is gay.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but anyway, we ain't gonna argue with that.
Yeah.
I wanted to clear something up though.
Okay.
Because you have to. I want you to ask me, why am I liberal?
Why are you liberal?
Why am I agnostic?
Why are you agnostic?
So I can ask you, what is your definition of liberal and agnostic? Because you seemed yesterday to misjudge me.
Okay, and I wanted to. My definition of liberal is people that live life without any restraints from God. There are no moral boundaries where God says that you can't do this, but if that's what I want to do in my life, I can do that. That's liberal. I'm free to do whatever I want to do in life. Agnostic is a person that they're not saying that there is no God. They're saying, I don't know. Yeah. An atheist is saying there is no God. Agnostic says, I don't know if there's a God or God. I'm not sure of that.
Agnostic also says, and this would be true for me, an agnostic can be a believer, but just not to a specific deity, right? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That goes into line that you don't know who it is, but you know there's a higher power, but you don't subscribe to any religion.
No, you would be changing the clinical definition of the word agnostic.
Okay.
Now, if you believe in a different religion,
no, it's not. You don't believe in it. You can believe in it. You can believe that there are all roads lead to God. Okay, then you believe in multiple religions, but no, you don't per se believe in those religions. You respect the fact that this could be a way to God too.
An agnostic is a person who does not have a definite belief about whether God exists or not. A person who does not believe or is something. Okay. If you believe that there are multiple religions, you're not agnostic. You're unsure of who that is, but you respect everyone. I came up in a Christian. What the same thing? I don't know. I came up in a Christian family. I mean, deep in it. Okay. I mean, deep in it. Okay. Too much in my travel, I've experienced too much for me to consistently believe that there's only one road. Right. You're unsure about that. Yeah. Hell down on anyone. An atheist. They don't believe God. They don't believe in Satan. They don't believe in no heaven. They don't believe in no hell. Yeah. And agnostic is that I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, as I'm anti-discrimination. Okay. I believe healthcare is a right, fundamental right, not a privilege. I think everyone should have. I think our education system should be free and should benefit everybody. Okay. I believe in unions. I personally don't believe in abortion, but I am pro-choice. Okay. And I come from a unique position because I was once, as told to me by my parents, a potential late-term abortion. My mom had cancer. So am I. So is he. My mom had cancer. So you're actually saying what I said? No, a liberal, I'm not saying. As a Christian, I cannot believe in same-sex marriage, homosexuality, because my Christian faith teaches me that that's a sin. Well, I mean, of course. I'm bound by that as a liberal. Yeah, I mean, it could be a sin in your religion, but as a practical right, you have no reason to discriminate against any of these people. I'm not discriminating. I'm not saying you in general. I'm just saying even people that think like I am. How am I discriminating against somebody that I said my faith teaches me what you're doing is a sin? I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have the right to do it. Yeah, they're not arguing about what you say. About like when they have to hold up. They're talking about when they have to go and be with their partner on their deathbed in the hospital. Won't allow them. I have no problem with that. What they're doing, they want to marry. No, what they're doing, their liberal beliefs is they want to marry. They have preachers that have been indicted for preaching that homosexuality is a sin.
What preacher?
They got 6 of them in Houston.
Where?
In Houston. You didn't know that?
Pull it up. I didn't know about that.
Let me show you.
And I know it ain't that cut and dry.
Were the preachers in Houston's sermons subpoenaed for teaching against homosexuality? They're passing laws that says that if you refuse to hire somebody who applied for, say, director of music in your church who's homosexuality based on that you can be sued, that you can't get in your pulpit. That is.
Man, it's called discrimination.
No, it's not discrimination.
It is.
It's called me practicing my faith teaching. That's sin.
Yeah, but I mean, your God can't be telling you to discriminate against people, man.
Why my God can't tell me not to put somebody in leadership of the church? That's what I'm talking about. With liberalism, why I have a problem with. You're taking your personal belief and making it go in my faith.
That's got the devil in that.
What do you mean it's the devil? The devil because they show Fox.
Yeah, that's got the devil.
Wow. Yes, I Fox and said that's the devil.
That's the devil.
On one side is the city's first openly lesbian mayor. On the
I don't need
other
something
are
objective.
5 conservative pastors who were
That's not objective.
This happened.
I know, but his reporting.
dealing with homosexuality.
Fox News report.
and
They never
generation.
You sitting there telling me you let me the CNN image, let me see our object.
I know what his slant is.
Whether it's Fox News or not, the woman issued a legal subpoena.
Pastor
And
Costanzo
they supposed to
joins us
turn their
now
sermons over
from
to
Houston.
see if they teach that
Pastor,
homosexuality.
why does
The
the
Bible
mayor
says
want
homosexuality
your
is
service,
sin.
sir?
As a pastor, he should teach that
That
homosexuality
is the
is sin.
question.
No liberal can stop us from doing what they try. But they should.
Of Houston and of this great
So,
nation
surrender
are asking
your,
those questions. We preach 4 or 5
tax-free
times
status?
a week.
Do what now?
We give
You
our
surrender your
messages
tax-free status?
to city of Houston.
Okay, well, you can preach whatever you want to preach.
And that's another
If the
thing.
government gonna subsidize you, the government can't subsidize discrimination.
No, that's another thing where the liberals have tricked them. The church is tax exempt without the 501c3.
Okay.
What Lyndon Baines Johnson did was he tricked some greedy preachers in the time partnership of the church in with the government by taking that 501c3, and you're right, they're a government organization. Go ahead, something do. Hello, caller, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, Pastor Guy? What's up, Chief?
What's going on, RC?
Hey, what's going on?
RC. Before you
Hey,
start,
what's up, John?
hold on,
Hey, man.
RC, before you start,
Okay.
I went home last night. I was praying last night.
Mm-hmm.
I got to commend you on something. And it's, I know y'all find that strange for me to commend y'all, but I got to commend you on something.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, you took out time before you called to talk to me about what the Bible says, and you actually took out time to read the Bible literally and to show me where you was coming from. And even though I know that a lot of times me and you differ on it, and I think that you pervert what it says, at least you took out time to read it, and I had to commend you on it. Don't laugh, John. Go ahead.
Pastor Guy, I always say, Pastor Guy, your mind is just like a parachute. If it don't open, it don't work.
There you go.
Amen.
There you go, man.
And
Say that again,
Bible
RC.
says-
Say that again, RC.
I said, your mind is just like a parachute. If it don't open, it don't work.
Okay.
Because I see the Bible in a spiritual way, and it can be lived in a practical way also.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what Jonathan is doing, he have an open mind. You know what I'm saying?
Jonathan got open mind, and he just said Fox News is evil.
Well, in his truth. You know what I'm saying? The way he presented to you, Pastor Guy. But narrow-minded prejudice will deny you of the truth.
Wait a minute, Jonathan just said as soon as he saw Fox News, he didn't care what the story was. What did you say when you saw Fox?
You know, Fox News has a long track record.
Yeah, they've been around that long.
And I'm saying they got a long track record
A long track record of what?
of lying.
I'm being narrow-minded.
And that's real open-minded, ain't it?
No, you can check the record.
Open-minded.
You didn't even hear the article of what was being reported. As soon as you saw Fox News, what you heard one word. First thing you said was, "That's the devil." They president, that's the devil.
No, I ain't said they pray. I said that's the devil.
But that's open-minded.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Pastor Guy, now you said in order to be pro-black, you have to be anti-white. That's not.
In order to be pro anything, just look at the clinical definition of the word. In order to be pro anything, you have to be anti something.
Oh.
Okay, so a pro-black player.
I'm anti-oppression.
What does pro mean? What does pro mean?
I'm inclined. Yeah.
No, that ain't what the word means.
When I say I'm pro-black,
Professional.
because when I talk about black power, because whites have power. We need power.
Pro, the affirmative side or one holding it. An argument or evidence and an affirmation.
Yeah.
Pro, that means when I'm pro something, I'm for something.
Yeah.
In order to be for something.
I mean, you got to be anti-white.
No,
You just making that up.
No, I'm not.
You making that up.
No, I'm not. I'm just.
I got white friends that are
I
pro-black.
didn't say that. All I'm saying is you're using a word, but you want to take the. Well, I'm not surprised because you said gay mean that don't mean.
Read
gay
the
mean
definition.
I just
You
read
gotta open
Of
your
gay.
mind now.
It's more than one definition.
You gotta open your mind.
pro means an argument or evidence and affirmation.
Okay.
In order to be pro something,
You ain't reading that. You just saying it.
just read the definition.
No, I'm talking about what you're saying now. In order to be pro something, you got to be anti something.
Right.
Where's that written at in the definition? It is written nowhere in the definition, man. You
A pro
put that just
basketball player is not anti-baseball. Okay?
No.
What now?
A pro basketball player is not anti-baseball.
Or anti-football.
Okay. Okay. Pro just means more. You more of an elite.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
There's multiple definitions of it.
Exactly, but at the end of the day, if you pro-life,
30 seconds.
then that means you anti-murder.
No.
If you
No.
Pro-life, that means you promote life.
all right,
Promote.
well, I'm pro-human. That's all I know.
All right. Well,
Jonathan, I gotta go. I'm out of time, dog. I don't know if my mind ever had me thinking like you.
Jonathan, I agree with you, man.
yeah, man, you're a good man.
I'm not surprised either.
You're a good man.
Jonathan,
That open mind.
at the end of the day, I love you.
Love you too, brother.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep living, live, and let live.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, we're gonna live
We
and
made
let
a
live.
connection.
God bless y'all. Look, if you like the show, support the show. Go to AndreGuy.com, click on Revelation Christian Center. Oh, all the stuff I say, how do you listen to me every day? Bye, y'all.
My wife don't like me listening to you.